you can go ahead and see this bubbly starter. So I'm going to use a cup of this. I'm going to be making sourdough loaf. I'm just going to go ahead and dump a cup of starter. I'm doing this from memory. I've made this recipe so many times. So there's my 1 cup starter. And this recipe calls for, I think it's a little over 2 cups. This is a pint, so 2 cups of water. Calls for some salt and some coconut oil. I think the recipe officially calls for about 1/3 of a cup, but I just kind of do a big spoonful, and it seems to turn out. I think one of the things about sourdough is that people overcomplicate it. This recipe also calls for some honey. And this is a sandwich bread recipe, not the traditional sourdough loaf. This is what I make the most. I think it's easier, also less time, and it's pretty simple compared to having the stretch and folds. This doesn't have any stretch and folds. So that's all of the other ingredients besides flour. And so I'm going to add in about half the flour and start mixing before I add the rest. It's for 8 cups of flour, so I'm going to start with 4. And once I've got the 4 cups in, I'm going to start mixing. This dough ends up being pretty hard at first, so it's a good idea to get it going. And 8. And we're going to let that knead together. This one takes a little while. Just going to let it go. All right, so this is the dough. It's risen for 12 hours now. It's just one big loaf, and then you're going to take that, and it's going to get cut in half because this makes 2 sandwich loaves. So I cut this in half, and I'm just going to work the dough a bit after I cut it. Got that there, and I use this knife for like cinnamon rolls, pasta too, so it's a pretty useful thing to have if you don't have one, but you of course could just use a regular knife. Then I'm just going to smooth this dough out, kind of work it a bit, and I'm going to roll it into a loaf shape to put into my pan. And then once you've rolled this, you can go ahead and put it in a pan that's either you've got butter, coconut oil on the sides, or you can put some parchment paper. And then this is going to sit and rise covered for another 4 to 5 hours. If you don't have time right away, you can go ahead and set this in the fridge and take it out later. Wait for that to rise. Let's get this next thing going. I'm going to be using 2 pounds of ground beef here just because I need to use the meat. You adjust to what you need to do. Okay, so first I like to just cook this pretty simply, get it cooking, and add basic seasonings like salt and pepper to start. I'm just going to cook this until it's brown. Salt. I don't measure. I just toss it in, whatever seems right. Now I'm going to add the rest of my seasoning here, which is just going to be some garlic and some ginger. Ginger pairs really nicely with teriyaki. You can pretty much use this combo for whatever meat you want to cook. I've also done it on salmon, which is really good too. So I got some coconut aminos here. I just don't like the fact that other sauces, teriyaki sauce, soy sauce, have soy in them. So I try to avoid that if I can. And coconut aminos basically give you a similar flavor, just without the soy. Just try to let that mix together. So I know that that's good. If you wanted to make this sweeter, you could go ahead and add some honey. And then this is why I love spinach, because I literally just toss it in. It cooks in. Okay, okay. Not all of it, honey. Not all of it. Okay, that's good. And I don't measure spinach. I just kind of don't. It cooks down so it doesn't end up being as much as it looks like it is. All right, and that is done. And I'm going to be serving this over some quinoa. If you're not making your rice in the Instant Pot, you should be. All you need is 1 cup of rice and 1 cup of broth or water. And if you want to make it more creamy, you can add extra. That's the nice thing about the Instant Pot is it pretty much uses up whatever liquid you add. And here we have it. This is the quinoa, and then I'm going to top that with my teriyaki beef spinach mixture. It's a nourishing, good meal for everybody. So now our bread has risen. You can see that the dough is pillowy. So if you push into it, it should like bounce back basically. You're going to cook this in the oven for 45 minutes at 375. And then when it comes out, look at how beautiful those are. So now that you've had your nourishing meal and that beautiful bread, let's make some ice cream. I've got 2 cups of cream, some sweetened condensed milk, and I'm going to mix those in an already going ice cream mixer. Do not do this. at a stop, otherwise it'll freeze. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of milk to that. I'm going to let that churn. And then you're just going to keep adding your ingredients while it keeps going. Add some vanilla. I don't measure here. Some salt. Continue to mix, never stop. Then you're going to do just the egg yolks. Make sure you whisk those together before you add that to the mixture. Some maple syrup. I added a 1/4 cup of maple syrup here. And let it churn. It'll churn for a while, probably 15 to 20 minutes. Once it's done, it should be soft serve consistency. And then I put this in a container, which I covered with some plastic wrap and the lid, and I set it in the freezer. Let it chill for a few hours before you eat it. And it was so, so yummy. Hey y'all, thank you for watching and for cooking with me. So Colossians 3:27 says, and whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not to men. And I think that cooking for our families and taking care of them and giving them nourishing food is a great way to honor God with all that we do. And it's really important to do that. Not only do we thrive as moms to be able to nourish our bodies and take care of our family as well, but our husbands and our kids thrive too. So I want to leave you with that encouragement. Whatsoever you do, do it unto the Lord, not unto men, because God is the one who is going to bless your efforts, even if your family doesn't notice. So thank you all for watching Homemaker in Progress. I hope you had a good time. Please like and subscribe.